Sawadi Krap, welcome to our Tower of Babble. Only doing this once or twice a week from now on. Now today I'm rocking the Mark Zuckerberg look with the grey t-shirt, so hopefully you can talk about something other than my shirts. Anyway, let's get started with our Tower of Babble. So here's some of the comments that you sent in over the past 24 hours. Dan Howard said, most tourists in Thailand are sex tourists, and they always live in places like Bangkok, Phuket, Chiang Mai, Pattaya, Koh Samui, Koh Chang, anywhere where there are bars and prostitutes. Obviously, these type of men are extremely low class, and so of course they are rude, obnoxious and disrespectful. I avoid all holiday places in Thailand as I can't stand being around people like this, and it's a much better experience to stay away from all the seedy places. Well, Dan, the places you listed are Bangkok, Phuket, Chiang Mai, Pattaya, Koh Samui, Koh Chang. They're some of the main locations that any tourists go to in Thailand. And yes, there are some sex tourists. Speaking about some of the content in our Ask the Thais segment yesterday, when we had Beer, Bo and Earth on the program, and we got to the topic of Farang. Well, Onkman2K said it was okay until the host brought up the topic of Farang and thought it was racist. Get over it. LV Trader 1 said Farang is definitely racist. Freddie Della Vega said, very interesting content. I used to think that Farang came from Farangsat, the word for French Francais, or maybe it's the other way around. But I do understand what Tim said about racism, but it depends on the situation. I do feel that sometimes it only means white foreigners without any bad intentions. Thanks for the videos, keep it up. Well, it's certainly a bit of an issue in Thailand where skin colour can define what people think of other people. But we are in a different country and a different culture, and sometimes we need to understand the context in which those comments are made. But certainly it's something that we all need to get our head around to understand when we're called Farang that they are referring to us as white foreigners. And you're probably right, get over it. On to another topic on our Ask the Thais segment yesterday, and Hugh008X said, how do Thais, especially men, feel about so many Western men coming to Thailand to exploit Thai women? This is also another very vexed question, and there seems to be a supply and demand issue here, where the demand has been met by the supply over the years, and that a lot of Westerners do come to meet Thai women. Whether it's exploitation or not will have to be on a case-by-case basis, but we thank Hugh008X for his comment. M. Swaney81 says, I have a question. My Thai co-worker in the US says many young women are encouraged to get plastic surgery in order to get better jobs, even in office environment. Is this true or exaggerated? Well, the issue of plastic surgery in Thailand is another one of those interesting topics where Thailand has long been a location for medical tourism, a lot of it involving cosmetic surgery. And a lot of the best cosmetic surgeons in the world are actually here in Thailand. In all the years I've been working in Thailand, I've never really seen a situation where a co-worker has been either advised to or heard about a co-worker getting plastic surgery to get a job. I'm sure it might happen sometimes. There may be anecdotal evidence of that, but it's certainly not widespread. In my case, I got my nose done, got my chin lifted, got my ears swept back, got all my hair removed, and I had my eyes done just to get the job. Joanne Bird was clearly impressed by Earth's English. She asked the question, please tell us what city in the US Earth went to school. His pronunciation is perfect, no twang, no slang, etc. Please tell us. Well, Earth's not actually here at the moment, so I can't ask him the question, but he did say that he spent 3 years being educated in the US, and yes, his English is perfect. On to some comments from Thailand News Today yesterday, hosted by Jet, and we start with some comments about the first story Jet was reporting, which was about a truck accident in Suratani. Jib Tinak said, check the truck driver's mobile phone to see what social networking app he was using rather than paying attention to the traffic. And Guy Tetrolt said, why should we care for an accident involving brake problems when we are in America? Well, Guy, you might have taken a wrong turn on YouTube. You've actually ended up on a Thai news channel, which is where we report news from around Thailand. And Suratani is in Thailand. So I hope that helps. Ray Korashia says, "Thanks for the update, Jet. Your delivery continues to improve. The Thaiger and its audience benefits from having a native bilingual speaker on staff." We couldn't agree more, Ray. We've actually got some more presenters on the way, but Jet certainly is an excellent inclusion into the Thaiger team. Daniel Prokopek says, "I have hotel reservation for flight for begin of November this year, but I will definitely not visit Pattaya until that nonsense quarantine will be lifted after vaccination. I always can choose Zanzibar, UAE or Dominican Republic. Thailand, what you gonna do when they not come for you?" Love the Bad Boys reference, Daniel. And yes, the quarantine issue seems to be a sticking point for a lot of people who may otherwise be heading towards Thailand. Whether we'll be having quarantine in the future, even with the vaccine being rolled out around the world, is one of those things we're just going to have to wait and see. We're getting mixed messages at the moment. The official line from the Thai government, though, is for the short to medium term. Even if you've been vaccinated, they will probably still retain the quarantine. Watch this space. Another one of the stories was about the smog and smoke around Thailand, certainly around Bangkok over the past couple of weeks and over the past few days in north and northeastern Thailand. Dagon Ming says major reason for the fog is from farmers burning. Duh! And then he swung on to a completely different tangent, saying the common cold is the same virus family as the corona. In the winter, people get the common cold, which is not corona. Thanks, Dagon. You're absolutely correct. COVID-19 is a coronavirus, as is the common cold, although they are completely different viruses. Rudy Roussel said they still believe in the plandemic, LOL, to which Tales of the LOS Tones 2020 said, "No, you still believe in the plandemic, while the rest of us are learning how to weather a pandemic. Good luck with your conspiracies, my man." Well, just as a side note, the Thaiger certainly doesn't believe that the current COVID-19 pandemic is a plandemic, and most of the time anybody who pushes that conspiracy theory will be blocked. 38150G Kellaway says, "Come on, same old news story every day. Try a new approach. COVID-19 and pollution in Bangkok all the time. We don't need to be told the reasons time and time again." Well, we don't make the news, we just report the news. We try and bring you a variety of different stories every day, but sometimes the pollution around Bangkok and COVID-19 are the big stories. And finally, Nate's Quest, you know that's right, said, "Curious why you never talk about the death rate. It's now 0.49% in Thailand, and the majority of cases are asymptomatic. Lockdowns and quarantines are destroying the country and livelihood of millions for a disease that has less than half of 1% death rate. Insane." Well, statistically and mathematically, Nate's Quest, you're absolutely correct. We imagine, though, that with the infection rate for COVID-19 tripling over the past 5 weeks, that we will probably and sadly see a few more deaths, and that death rate may rise slightly. Let's hope it stays as low as it possibly can, and that the additional knowledge that the Thai doctors and hospitals have acquired over the past 12 months will help to keep people alive. And that, as they say, is that. I'll try to avoid being detained by Israeli security today, and we do look forward to seeing you somewhere else on the Thaiger very soon.